Let's go!
Three claps, hooray!
Auburn Tiger fans, this is an interesting spring for you guys, so comment down below. Do you believe Payton Thorne will be your QB1 all the way until the end of the season? Or will Holden Geriner, you guys have always gotten on me on how to pronounce his name, will he get a chance? Or will it be Walker White? So I'll give you my thoughts on the quarterbacks a little bit later. I did a documentary style video before the season on Payton Thorne and his really fun backstory. That's floating in the top right corner of your screen if you are indeed interested. So I find this Auburn quarterback situation to be very interesting. The first thing is Philip Montgomery is no longer a part of this room. It is Hugh Freeze in the background that is calling the plays, basically calling the shots and putting more on his plate. And before we start breaking down any of these QBs, that concerns me, right? I think in the modern game, if you got to call plays on top of actually being the head coach, it's a lot. It really is. But Hugh Freeze, he had his reasons before last year, given the play calling duties up, and he has reversed course, and he will actually call the shots. So let me know what you guys think about that down below. The second thing is, I feel the biggest story for Auburn isn't Payton Thorne, because obviously his passing game wasn't as great as a lot of people thought it would be. It's his group of pass catchers he has to throw to. I thought Rivaldo Fairweather coming back was a little shocking. I thought he would have been a pretty nice NFL draft selection in those middle rounds, right? After Brock Bowers, it really is up for interpretation who you think the tight end 2 was in this next NFL draft, and Fairweather might have actually been that guy. And then, of course, you bring in this guy. I mean, this is crazy stuff, okay? Abso-freaking-lutely crazy stuff from Cam Coleman. Absurd. I really loved him. I felt going into their senior high school season, he was the best wide receiver in all of college football recruiting. Now that I've really watched Jeremiah Smith, I would put Jeremiah Smith number 1 overall, but that's how good I think Cam Coleman is, and the recruitment of him, battling off Texas A&M, battling off Alabama to get him to Auburn, a home state kid, is a really, really big deal. He's got that basketball background. He's got that playmaking ability you look for from a big wide receiver. Can he give you something as a true freshman? You look at Auburn's wide receiver room. They do have Coy Moore coming back, but is he really that good? I don't think so, even though he thinks he's better than Kayshon Boutte. I thought that was always hilarious. But still, this wide receiver grouping for Auburn will be very fascinating. I think number 4, Cam, I don't know, his name slips my mind, is a very interesting player. I know he wore number 17 last year. This is not him in the background. This is a different number 17. He could be a very interesting piece in this Auburn passing attack next year as well. I feel as if this group of pass catchers can be sneaky good if Fairweather still plays at the level we expect him to. Now, as far as this Auburn running game is concerned, that is going to be an interesting story. Now, this is why spring football is very important. This looks like this is Walker White. I was guessing he thought this was a back shoulder throw. I hope he was thinking that, because that is not good whatsoever, but still, that's why he's a true freshman in spring. I don't know. I've just gone back and forth over whether Payton Thorne is going to take a massive leap. We've seen plenty of quarterbacks that are older that took that massive year 5 leap like Payton Thorne is trying to do here. I mean, he's been in college since, 2019? So I think this is a year 6 leap in theory. You are so much older. Quarterbacking is so much mental and repetition, and he's played in so many games. he could have a leap like Jaden Daniels had. Now, Jaden was better in his year 4 before his Heisman year than Payton Thorne was, but it was still a massive leap. We've seen quite a few quarterbacks take that leap. Caleb Burton in the background is back. We've not discussed him yet. He had some good moments, particularly in that Arkansas game last year. So, I feel Payton Thorne will get better, but will it be will he get to a level where he's one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC, right? You look across the way, I think most people would agree when you look at Auburn's schedule, you're going to have the inferior quarterback in most of the games you play unless Payton Thorne takes that leap. And then not only Payton Thorne, but Hugh Freeze, right? It was not a bad year 1 for Auburn at all. Even with that New Mexico State debacle, look, we did a video on how that loss was one of the flukiest loss, and I know that sounds crazy. That video is floating in the top right corner of your screen if you want to see the truth about that game. It's something I really don't like a lot about the modern day college football. So I give Hugh Freeze some grace. Obviously, losing the Alabama game the way that they lost it was absolutely bone-crushing, but, that was, Hugh Freeze maybe looking ahead towards that game and putting together a pretty good game plan. I'm worried. I'm worried about this team. I really am, from an Auburn perspective, that their ceiling really is 7-5, 8-4. And we haven't even discussed their defense up to this point. So, and when you take a look at it, I mean, this is the second time in 3 years Auburn starts the year with 5 home games to get things going. I think a few years ago it was 6. Obviously, California, we'll see how good they are. They return their really good running back, Ott. Arkansas, I don't think, is something that should concern you, but I think that game would be very, very close. And then the middle of the schedule gets really tough. At Georgia, then a bye week, and then back-to-back road games. That's 3 road games in a 4-week stretch with the back-to-back mixed in there. That's tough. You do get Vanderbilt at home, and obviously another bye week. I love the double byes in the modern SEC. I hope that continues. But ULM, Texas A&M, 2 win-ish bowl games towards the end of the season, and then you have the Iron Bowl at Alabama to close things out. So, for me, I look at it in terms of recruiting, right? Auburn is a pretty good recruiter, not an elite recruiter, or a top 15 recruiter, and you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4 top 15 recruiters on your schedule, and that doesn't include the 2 road games at Missouri and at Kentucky back-to-back. Man, if I'm Auburn, you get the 7-5, that's a W, right? And look, there is a non-zero chance that maybe Walker White is just that dude, right? When I watch Walker White, I watched a few of his high school games. Athletically, he is so gifted. He really, really, really is. I think he could get some action this year as a runner. I really do think so, even though Payton Thorne himself is a pretty solid runner, and I understand that there might be in the back of Auburn's mind a chance to redshirt Walker White. Maybe that's something that Walker White's camp is interested in doing, but man, athletically, he is really gifted. He's got a really good arm. I don't think this is a situation where he's going to play or start, if you will. I still think it's going to be the Payton Thorne show, but I would keep an eye out for number 11. Now, I purposefully didn't really discuss Auburn's defense today, so let me know down below if you want me to do a breakdown.
That's the key to me to staying balanced, is us being able to run the ball and throwing the ball off of run actions where you're not having to vertical pass set a whole lot. So that's hopefully what our identity will be.
So that was Hugh Freeze talking about the key to their offense. It's going to be this guy, Jarquez Hunter, right? Obviously, a lot's going to be on Payton Thorne's plate, but you heard him talking about not putting his offensive linemen in a lot of, deep vertical passing sets. And one way you can help out your OL is marrying it with a good run game and play action and misdirection off of that run game. Obviously, Lane Kiffin is a master at that, and Hugh Freeze, of course, has had a lot of success doing that as well. We've not even mentioned Jarquez Hunter's name, and this is why you got to stay till the end for all our videos. When you really break it down, Jarquez Hunter's probably the best running back in the SEC. You know, we'll see what happens with ETN and some of this off-the-field stuff, but you look, a lot of the best runners, Wright's gone, Tennessee. Ray Davis is gone at Kentucky. Quinshon Judkins left the conference. Jaden Daniels, even though he's a quarterback, is gone. Jarquez Hunter is the leading rusher that is returning to the SEC. Now, is Montrell Johnson in that conversation? Maybe so. But let me know if you think Jarquez is the best running back in the SEC. I think right now I could say that it's him. So we'll see what happens there. So comment down below, Auburn fans, and we'll talk to you soon. It is Power Hour SEC. Boom! DJ Durkin's got a lot of work to do with that defense. So Floating in Your Face is a New Mexico study. And tonight we are doing barbecue chicken. Let's go.